Judge a man by his questions rather than by his answers. God is a comedian playing to an audience too afraid to laugh. Creator, a comedian whose audience is afraid to laugh. It is sad that often to be a good patriot, one must be the enemy of the rest of mankind. God is a circle whose center is everywhere and circumference nowhere. Life is bristling with thorns, and I know no other remedy than to cultivate one's garden. Whatever you do, crush the infamous thing and love those who love you. Every man is guilty of all the good he did not do. The most original minds borrowed from one another. Being of opinion that the doctrine and history of so extraordinary a sect as the Quakers were very well deserving the curiosity of every thinking man, I resolved to make myself acquainted with them. Christ was baptized by John, but he himself never baptized anyone. Now we profess ourselves disciples of Christ and not of John. The most surprising circumstance is that this letter, though written by an obscure person, was so happy in its effect as to put a stop to the persecution. You have already heard that the Quakers date their epoch from Christ, who according to them was the first Quaker. He advanced toward me without moving his hat or making the least inclination of his body, but there appeared more real politeness in the open, humane air of his countenance than in drawing one leg behind the other and carrying that in the hand which is made to be worn on the head. His first care was to make an alliance with his American neighbors, and this is the only treaty between those people and the Christians that was not ratified by an oath and that was never infringed. In all countries where the established religion is of a mild and tolerating nature, it will at length swallow up all the rest. William Penn, when only 15 years of age, chanced to meet a Quaker in Oxford, where he was then following his studies. Friend, I am glad to see thee in good health. The Eternal has his designs from all eternity. Thus was a Quaker raised to sovereign power. Virtue supposes liberty, as the carrying of a burden supposes active force. Under coercion, there is no virtue, and without virtue, there is no religion. William answered that his conscience would not permit him to do these things. The Quakers suffered several persecutions under Charles II, not upon a religious account, but for refusing to pay the tithes, for theeing and thouing the magistrates, and for refusing to take the oaths enacted by the laws. William Penn might with reason boast of having brought down upon earth the Golden Age, which in all probability never had any real existence but in his dominions. Do not most of us resemble that old general of 90 who, having come upon some young officers debauching some girls, said to them angrily, "Gentlemen, is that the example I give you?" Ancient histories, as one of our wits has said, are but fables that have been agreed upon. Business is the salt of life. Religion may be purified. This great work was begun 200 years ago, but men can only bear light to come in upon them by degrees. The superfluous, a very necessary thing. I die adoring God, loving my friends, not hating my enemies, and detesting superstition. Man ought to be content, it is said, but with what? 100 years from my day, there will not be a Bible in the earth except one that is looked upon by an antiquarian curiosity seeker. Nothing can be more contrary to religion and the clergy than reason and common sense. To hold a pen is to be at war. No snowflake in an avalanche ever feels responsible. I always made one prayer to God, a very short one. Here it is. O Lord, make our enemies quite ridiculous. God granted it.